Hey everyone, this is Melody with Design by Melody. I am here with a 2014 album flip for you guys today. Now the lighting is going to be a little bit weird because these layouts are in page protectors and it's having a really difficult time adjusting to the lights and the shiny products, so bear with me. I did want to go ahead and share my 2014 album with you because I am finished with it, and at the beginning of this year I posted a video about catching up on Project Life or catching up on my albums, and one of the years that I had not finished was 2014, and I'm making a pretty good dent in 2015 and 16 as well. But my primary goal was to get done with 2014 and get almost all of 2015 done. And if I do that, then I will have done about a year and a half's worth of photos in 2016. So to me, that's a pretty big accomplishment because I'm doing a year and a half worth of photos in a year, and if I do the same thing next year, then I'll pretty much be totally caught up. So anyways, this is the first album for my 2014 albums, and I did two for 2013, two for 2014, probably two for 15 and 16. And anything before 2013, which is when I started scrapbooking, are kind of just I have 3 albums that are just before 2013. Eventually I'll probably split those up into different years or groups of years, but I don't have enough layouts done yet to do that. So anyways, this is my 2014. You can see the label I made. I made the same one or the same type of labels for all of my albums. And we're going to try to keep it like this and just move it. Well, I'll probably just flip the pages for you because this is where the lighting seems to be the best. Yep, there we go. All right, so this is the title page for my 2014 album. There are process videos for probably 97.5% of these layouts, but they would have been from 2014 on. So at any point in the last 2 years, you could find these layouts. If you really want to see a specific process video, I probably could figure it out. So just let me know and I'll see if I can find it. So this is the title page. I just used a 12 by 12 background that I cut apart and then embellished it. And instead of moving the album back and forth, I'll just do this. And I really wanted to share with you how I set up my albums. Okay, I just keep checking to make sure it's recording properly. So I wanted to share with you how I set up my albums. So I mix Project Life style pages with traditional scrapbooking pages, and then I use a couple different inserts that I pretty much usually create myself with just scrap pieces of page protectors, but I'll share those with you. So started each album, I do scrapbook chronologically, or I sort my albums chronologically. And so I'll have a title page, which is a Project Life page. Any layouts or anything will be next, and then I'll have an ending page for that same month. So I only really do Project Life pages for a month, and those are just some highlighted photos that I keep in here. And any real significant photos I will put on a layout itself. So like these are just photos from different points in time. This is us cooking, this is Kaylin with his headphones on, this is a family game night, and this is Kaylin helping me scrub the bathroom floor. So that's just kind of how I do my albums. Now, recently, I don't want it to fall apart as we go. Sorry if you can hear that. The ear just kicked on. But recently I have purchased these from Studio Calico, and they're going to be in a haul that I share with you probably next week. But I purchased these for $1 when they had their dollar sale, and it was just the monthly dividers in white. And so I punched holes in them to match my album, and I have now labeled each section. Now I always intended to do that with the Project Life page dividers, but I just never got them. So this made it really easy and fairly cheap considering a year's worth was $1. So this is where I'm saying I mix my 12 by 12 pages in here. So here's a 12 by 12 page. Here's another one. And I will point out that usually, like this flare usually would be on the outside of the page because I stopped putting real dimensional things inside my pages. Here's another one, 12 by 12. And then another one. And this was about using up scraps. Both of these pages were that. And then this is the ending page for my January, and this is where, like I mentioned, I put my larger dimensional items on the outsides of my page protectors. And I like to include things in my album if at all possible. Like these are tickets to a museum. These are like photos, and this is actually a cupcake liner that I flattened out and used kind of like I would a doily. Really love scrapbooking. I truly love the art of scrapbooking. I think it's really special to be able to capture a lot of things. All right, so this is my title page for February of 2014. Something sticky has gotten on that. Probably was tape or something. Glue, I mean. And this was about Valentine's Day. These are the Valentine's tags that were on Kaylin's Valentine's for school that year. Made him a new mask. I like having photos in my project life of different sizes as well. Now for my project life, I almost always use, I don't think I've used anything other than a design age paper, a design a page protector for the title and ending pages of my months. Now, some of the inserts could be different sizes, but the actual title page for the month, as well as the ending page for the month, should all be those design A. My February divider. A layout for February, just a 12 by 12 layout. I was really into that corrugated paper, and I've more recently come across some, so I actually have a lot of it now that I could use. This was done using a Felicity Jane kit from January of this year, 2016. I really like that one. This was a Studio Calico kit. This layout came from that. And as you can see, most of my layouts feature one photo, but sometimes I mix in different numbers of photos. This is another one from that Felicity Jane kit. I'm not going into a whole lot of detail about each layout. I'm just more so showing you my style and how I mix in the layouts, and I don't make them coordinate unless I have photos that I'm really trying to coordinate together. Like these two layouts are together. They're about my dad. And the colors are kind of similar because the photo was taken the same day, but completely different styles. This one's more traditional, using some simple stories, elements, as well as some stitching around the side. And then this one's a lot more playful and colorful, using some Felicity Jane pieces. And then there are more photos in this bag. So some of my pages are interactive. And if you're actually truly looking at them, you'll be able to see it says more photos. So if you reach into the bag, you will find more photos. And I put a little bit of journaling on the back of each one of those, so you can see those. There you go. This one is pretty journal heavy. It was very simple, but very journal heavy. It was about my dad, because that's actually the month that he passed. So I was kind of reflecting back. Oh, that was right before he passed. He passed in March. And then some of my layouts, Project Life style, have flip pockets. And I make these on my own. I know you can make them with the fuse tool, but I also just make my own by cutting it, sometimes using some washi tape and sewing it. So these are sewn on. I had attempted to attach these with washi tape and kind of make a hinge with washi tape, but because there were two of them, it was kind of heavy on this page, so I had to sew it down. And I've made flip pockets a number of ways. Someone had requested that I show how I do that, so I will. That's on my list of videos to do, showing you how to make flip pockets, especially since I've done them a couple different ways. And if you notice on this side, you can fill the stitching, but you really can't notice the stitching because it's just white. This is just the back side. This is my March 2014 title page, and I always label the title pages. Now I use the Becky Higgins Design A page protector, and if you notice, I always use a white card as the base for the 4x6 pockets, or I use a photo with a white border for the 4x6 pockets. Now, if my photos weren't printed with a border, I just trim it down and mount it on a piece of white cardstock. I don't mind if some of the embellishments go to the side, but the base of the card is white. I just like the consistency of that. And I also keep those corners all squared, whereas the 3x4 pockets in the middle, I round the corners. Now, I don't always use Becky Higgins Project Life cards. Sometimes I do. I have plenty. I could definitely do that all the time, but I also like to just cut down pattern paper as well, or use other branded cards. This is another one. This is a 8.5 by 11 pocket, and I just used the page protector from Staples. And these are Kaylin's school photos. So what I thought to do was to mount his school photos. These are just copies of his school photos. And I did put them on a piece of white cardstock, so I could technically easily remove them if I wanted to. But in the middle here, I just put his extra photos. So I'm going to do this every year, so if I ever need to look for more photos, I know they're going to be in the scrapbook album in the pocket behind where I've displayed those photos. And these are 8.5 by 11, like I said, so I could probably put them in a frame as well if I wanted to put them on the wall for a while. This is my dad's obituary thing. It was like a little, yeah, I guess this was his full obituary. The funeral home had it printed up and laminated it for us and gave it to us. So I thought this was definitely something I wanted to include in the scrapbook album. This is my dad's program from his funeral about our church, or the thing in our church bulletin, as well as the cards from family and friends. I got a couple cards here as well. My mom got a ton of cards, of course, at the house, but we got some cards here at my house. I wanted to include those because everybody had such sweet messages to write. This is probably one of my favorite layouts, and it's just a picture of my dad's gravestone. Now, this was taken a couple months after he died, of course, because it took forever to get his gravestone in, especially since he died first. My mom is still alive, so the stone was not there yet. But I went back and included it in the month of his death. That way it would be all together. Picture of Kaylin and his cousin, one of his cousins. And then this is the ending page for my March 2014. Now, my photos, I don't always keep them in the same order. This one, I just happened to have the date because this was right around when my dad died. So I wanted to kind of just capture the fact that life goes on. There are still happy moments, even though it was a very sad time, which is why that's in there. Whoops. Here's the beginning of April 2014. As you can see, I don't keep to one main color scheme, but sometimes I do coordinate things, and I like having colorful albums. There's certain colors I stay away from. You will not see very much orange. There was like one layout of Ernest that had orange in it, but there's not a whole lot of orange in this album. Or dark green. I use a lot of teals and lime greens, but not dark greens. My April divider. And then there weren't a whole lot of pictures this month, so I just have an ending page for Project Life. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I have an ending page for April, and then I have a section for Easter. Since it was still in April, though, it's not moving on to the May section. I just titled this Easter 2014, and these are all the photos from Easter, and I do have a flip pocket as well. And you just have to make sure that when you do a flip pocket, this is a different type of flip pocket. I'll show you. Oh, I had to glue the edge. I'll have to show you on a different one. Had to glue the edge because it started to split. Just because I had... This was a page protector I used to take in and out and measure my cards in, and it was like the last one I had left before I purchased my other one, so the edge started to split. Sometimes you'll see that on page protectors. It doesn't happen a whole lot, but it can happen, so instead of just cutting it up or getting rid of it, I just taped it with some washi tape. But this is a different style flip pocket. I will show you that when I come to another one. This was Easter at School, the Easter egg hunt. Then we've got our May title page, and these are using some Studio 29 Designs cards. I'm not going to point out all of them, but some of them I specifically remember doing, so I can tell you where those cards came from. Same thing, Studio 29 Designs here. All right, here's the May title, or the May divider. All right, and this is one that has split, but I'm not going to worry about it because you can still see everything. But this is one of those other divider cards that I was talking about. I mean, flip cards. So what I've done is I have taken a page protector here, cut it and taped it on the sides to make it the exact size I need, and then I left a little extra piece here. I hope y'all could see that. Can you see that? It's about an inch overhang. And then I just scored it with my scoring board, and I folded it using my bone folder to make it a nice crisp edge. And then I taped it on the back with washi tape. So now I have a flip pocket, and it's attached to this photo, so I don't have to worry about it really coming out. It doesn't normally put a whole lot of pressure on it, maybe since it's this photo on the corner. Oh, I know what happened. Okay. Sorry, I just realized what happened with this one. So this one, because I needed it to flip on the back side, I had to cut a slit here, and I cut too far over the edge. So it has that seam that was split because it was just attached on the corner here. But I had to do that because the flip's on this side versus the side where the open pockets are. So I may go back and fix that. I could just put a bit of washi there and then it would be all together. You just have to be aware of which side your pockets open on. That really doesn't bother me though, because like I said, it's still in the album. It's still attached right here in the center seam, so it's not going anywhere. All right, this is just a small pocket I created. And you can do one of two things if your holes don't match your album in the pocket, in the divider, the page protectors you're using. I have a lot of old page protectors that I just keep on hand for reasons like this about cutting it up. So I cut it the size I needed. These are the actual corners of the page protector. So think about it as being this corner of the 12 by 12 page protector. So I cut here and then I sew down to make it divided. Then I taped some washi tape here and then I punched my holes. So there's that. And I try to alternate whether they're at the top or the bottom just to kind of even out the bulk. This is another page protector. It was a 12 by 12 that I trimmed down here and then just cut off the top. Very simple teal, gray, and white layout. Beginning of June 2014. My June divider. This is a layout I did more recently. I don't have a a process video for this, but I really like this. This is Rare Pool Dang. In the back side, there is a process video for this though. Mama's Little Sweet Pea. Then we have another different size page protector, and this was a Father's Day card Kaylin had drawn at preschool, and then postcards from my mom. And my mom likes to send letters, so I always put these in here to where he can take them out and read them. But they can go right back, and they look decorative. They look like they're actually attached. So I try to put letter or letters from Grandma. That way you know that it's a letter. You can pull it out and read it. Little award Kaylin got at the gym. Another Project Life page here. Beginning of July 2014. I hope this is helpful for you guys. A lot of people have asked how I do my albums because it seems like I have no rhyme or reason to what I scrapbook. And I really don't. I have pictures printed that I want to scrapbook, and then I just kind of pull whatever I want to. July, these are some 4th of July photos. This is one of my favorite layouts. I did this back in 2014 using up some scraps from a 6x6 paper pad. And funny enough, there was actually like a blog hop that was done a couple months ago that has this same design with the photos of the people. And I got this design from a quilting website. Well, no, I got inspiration for this from a photo collage that I saw on a wall. It was on a Pinterest board. All right, this is one of Kaylin, and then it talks about Grandma. And then I have the little tabs up here so you know there are more photos back here. They weren't not worth scrapbooking, but I didn't need to do the separate pages for these. So I just mounted them on some Project Life cards that were decorative on the back. And I've created my little pocket here so they kind of stick up so you can see them sticking out. All right, we're nearing the end here. layout for Grandma. This is one I did using a lot of flowers. Some 4th of July photos, and then the very end, and I just kind of have a filler page here. It just has a couple word stickers decorating it. Live in the moment, remember memories. This is our story. Look at this and just keep going. And then it has an arrow. So that is the end of the first part of the album flip. So as you can see, I have my album set up. It works for me, and then it's a very nice variation. So if you are flipping through my album, if you are flipping through my album, oh no, there we go. Well, somehow it didn't work out so well. So if you're flipping through my album, you get a nice variation of different things that you're going to look at. The thing about creating your own pockets is you just have to measure and you have to make sure it fits the right way. Okay, what the heck? There we go. This album is truly probably about 3 or 4 layouts too big, but the way that it's divided into the 2 albums, I did not want to make it into a 3rd album. There wasn't enough to fill up a 3rd album, so I don't really like having them so full, but I didn't really have much of a different way to do it. And it doesn't bow. It just is very, very full. So that is the end of the first part. Check back soon because I will have the second part up for you probably tomorrow. All right, guys, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions whatsoever, and I will go into more detail about a specific style or a specific thing I do. Just let me know. Leave a comment below if you have any questions. All right, guys, thank you. Bye.